Hello, this is Unlimited Splash, where we get better at Magic together through a new draft video every weekday. And today, I'm actually excited to draft some Marvel superheroes, because today we're going to be experimenting. You see, in the format so far, there is one color pair that has absolutely dominated. Among people who use the client's 17 lands, 91,000 have drafted Azorius, and those Azorius players won 59% of their games. The next most played archetype is Selesnya, with about fewer than half as many games played, and a win rate that is a solid about 2 percentage points below Azorius. This is not just a dominant color pair, it is an absolutely overwhelmingly dominant color pair. Not only is it substantially better than the next best color pair, and way better than the worst one, but twice as many people are drafting it. You could have two people at your draft table drafting Azorius, taking each other's stuff, and they would both do better than the one Selesnya player at your draft table. So this last week, I've been drafting tons of Azorius and frankly, tons of Selesnya, and I've been winning a lot, and I've been kind of bored by it. It just feels like doing the same thing over and over. So to have fun, I'm going to try really hard to steer away from the Bant space. Maybe Simic is okay, but I really want to try to play some kind of control, maybe something with black or red. Just anything except white aggro or white midrange, please. And this is not purely a meme. If you look at just data from the last week, so this is just chopping off the first week of the format, which has been out for just over 2 weeks now, and looking at roughly just the second week of the format, you can see that Azorius has already gone down in win rate by a solid percentage point, as more people proportionally have been drafting it. So the ratio of the number of games played between Azorius and Selesnya has gotten even larger, and people have fallen off some of these worst archetypes, which they were never even drafting that much to begin with, like Rakdos and Gruul. In fact, if you look at just the last 3 days, okay, Golgari has been played a whole lot less than Azorius, but there are definitely signals, again, with all credit to 17lanes.com, and with a caveat that, the number of games played is pretty low, but there are definitely signals that Azorius is starting to be overdrafted. You know that Azorius is the best, your friends know that Azorius is the best, the people drafting with you know that Azorius is the best, and you're not wrong to be preferring Azorius, but in just the last 3 days, it has not won that much more than Selesnya or Simic, and it has won actually fewer of the games, or a smaller share of its games played in the last 3 days than Golgari, albeit with many more decks drafted. So all this to say, it's not just fun to explore other archetypes, it's actually in your interest, even if you're someone who purely cares just about winning. So let's jump in. Let's try to do something different today. And that was just a teaser of set data. I'll be digging much deeper into data soon enough. Okay, probably tomorrow or the next day. All right. Okay, so I mean, if you're just trying to like win, you probably want to take Supervillain Lockup or Web Up here, something like that. Maybe the Burrow Backup if you're feeling spicy. Probably Web Up is actually what I would take if we were drafting with money on the line. But okay, I said that we want to play red control. I mean, Scarlet Witch looks so bad to me that it's really hard to talk myself into going in that direction. I've played a lot with Atlantis attacks. It is a very respectable control piece. This is a very nice thing to aim for in the late game. I kind of want to take Misty Knight. It looks like it's not so embarrassingly bad that you can't play it. Wow, this is really tough. I mean, even just convincing myself not to just take the Web Up is really hard. But we're going to try. I told you that we're going for it, and we're going to go for it. This is, after all, the time in the season to go for it. I guess I'll just take Atlantis attacks. I'm happy to play blue. I'm just trying not to be blue-white. I'm just trying to stay away from white-based creatures. That's the main goal here. And yeah, when I say this is the right time for going for it, I'm referring to my series Going For It, which I do right after the rank reset most months. So when my rank goes from, Mythic to Platinum or what have you, I can get away with things that I probably can't get away with at Mythic, and that is the perfect time for exploration. Okay, so could we go for Wonder Man? Could this be a reason to pull us into a bad color? Because I'm going to say right now, I'm honestly thinking of taking the Trickster Stratagem, and I would like to try maybe Grixis Control, something like that. Something in that space. Maybe Sultai Control could be good as well. I don't mean exactly those 3 colors, but anything but white control is what I'm hoping to do today. Okay. Each power-up ability of permanence you control can be activated an additional time. No, this just looks bad as well. There's also Frozen and Ice. Hydro Infiltration I don't hate. Stark Industries could be a nice dual lane for us. I don't think Moonstone can be played really. Again, if we were, drafting for money or something, there were some good white pieces, but we are fully ignoring those. Okay, interesting. So there is a Shuri. I could try some kind of artifact stuff. I mean, could I take the Scarlet Witch, see if I wheel the other Scarlet Witch and try, like, jamming Atlantis attacks? Maybe if I get this pick 11, I could do that. I don't mind Pet Adventures at all. White Tiger is pretty good. I have been playing a lot of green recently. Let's see. I could also just take the Land Cycler and stay kind of flexible. I don't think you know what? Let's just go for it. Like, this Shuri gives us some direction that is not white creatures. I don't really want to play like the artifacts deck because that's a little bit, I've played a little bit of it. It's just really hard to get into and have a functioning version of, but maybe we can find like, a variant of artifacts that works today. And right now I'm sending very clear signals that whoever's to my left should be taking all this white that I'm leaving on the table. Okay, we could take a Bullseye. This card I've found to be pretty passable in sealed. I doubt that it's really something you can get away with in draft. I actually don't hate the idea of taking the Villainous Hideout. The reason that I say that is you could go for the Dimir control deck. I think that could be, I really actually want to try playing Dimir if we can get our hands on some black removal. So, this makes a villain connive, and that has a lot of synergy in the format. It's worth trying. Maybe taking Bold Biochemist would also make sense to not commit at all to, well, this doesn't commit us to another color, but it commits us to a color that has villains, which is probably black, realistically. Yeah, but let's see. Okay. Wow. Trickster's Stratagem. So I'm not really following signals per se today because, Spider-Man's kind of a signal, I guess. But Trickster's Stratagem is a signal. So I'm just going to snap that one up. If we can have a whole lot of interaction, then that's a good space to be in if we're trying to experiment and find new things in the format. And right now, today, this is all about experimentation. Okay, someone did some really cool stuff to me with Iron Fists that makes me want to explore it, but I'm going to go with that's probably not good enough. Right, so this is probably way too slow. It's a 4-drop that doesn't do anything until it attacks, and also you can pay 4, and also you have a creature in your graveyard. I can see why these colors are lagging in the format, right? I mean, Dependable Quinchette is kind of interesting. Look, I'm Unlimited Splash. If there's a 5-color deck in the format, I'd like to be there. I'd like to see that happen. But why don't we just take the D power? And I'm just trying to get like enough good functional cards under my feet that I have a good chance of being able to experiment without just getting completely run over. Here I'll happily take an Aerial Doombot. Hey, maybe we're going to be mono blue. That would be fun. It's a villain for Villainous Hideout. It's also just a sweet card on pure rate. I'm noticing, yeah, white is like totally picked clean. Seriously, give the format like 3 more days and maybe people will be overdrafting white to the point, which is like 3 drafters per pod or something, to the point that it's actually balanced with the other colors. Maybe blue is like not at this point underdrafted because look at this pick 8 Trickster Stratagem. We almost wheeled maybe the best common in the format. I think it's slightly behind Hero in Training, but it's like right up there for real. I will say this type of card is always underdrafted. This is not the first time that what I call super bounce effect, bounce something to the top or bottom of their library. It's not the first time that that is underdrafted. In fact, it's underdrafted in every format. Run Behind was underdrafted. The one in Bloomborough, which I was just playing a bunch with, is underdrafted. Okay. Maybe now we'll take Misty Knight. I mean, 3 power for 2 mana is always good. The only thing is I would actually rather end up blue-black than blue-red. So maybe we take Ninja of the Hand. I really would love to play around with, actually, you know what? I would love to play around with Dimir control. And you know what? Ghost plus Villainous Hideout is kind of sweet. If I can have target creature connive, I can like pump my Ghost up. That sounds pretty good. I'll happily take a Hydra Infiltration. I don't think it's the best card ever printed. Stark Industries would also be a good pickup, but I think its power is enough that it's worth speculating on here. Okay, are we just going to build around the Scarlet Witch No, we didn't get back the first Scarlet Witch, but it looks like we got back the second one. I'll just snap that up for the sideboard. Wow, Agent of Atlas, a white 2-drop wheeling. Of course, the day when I resolve to not play white is the day when white is going to be open, but we haven't seen any other signals of white being open. That's just a weird one. Okay, yeah, so, and this does some returning something from the graveyard, and a last pick Blazing Crescendo. Ooh, heck yeah. Snapping up a Kang the Conqueror. I mean, it's already good on rate, a 4/5 for 5 flying, but when you play it, you really want to just play it and immediately power it up. I really want this to be a 5/6 take an extra turn for 8. That's really where I'm looking. If green were a little bit more open, I would be looking to pick up like some scrolls and some ramping, but let's just snap up Kang. I really don't want to play Shuri, which means I'm in a position where I'm really missing like 2 drops. But yeah, I mean, Kang would be a perfect top end threat for a Dimir control deck. Now we just need to get the control part figured out. So like cards like Cruel Alliance, even AM Scientist is like, okay, but really if I could get like 3 copies of Cruel Alliance, I would be very, very pleased. I'm going to call Kang an 8-mana spell. All right, I guess Avengers Under Siege is like kind of a board wipe. I don't think this card is particularly good necessarily. No, Pyroclasm just doesn't kill the stuff that you wanted to kill. Let's pick up Madame Mask. This is a fantastic pull into black. It's exactly consistent with the black plan. So if I have a whole bunch of different ways to connive, I can activate my Madame Mask multiple times. But even if you only can activate it once, it's a really good thing to be doing. I will say Night Nurse, Madame Mask, like it's among the best cards in the pack. So it's not like we're missing out on a lot by refusing to draft white here. In this pack, I mean, I kind of wish I could play that Undercover Scroll, but I think Stature is going to be good for me. I mean, I'm a control deck, so the number of 1-drops that I'm really interested in is limited. But it is a 1-drop that grows, so conceivably the threat of activation on Stature could make it hard for an opponent to attack. Like if they have a 2/2 and you have 4 mana up, you know, maybe the ability to turn this into a 3/3 prevents them from being able to get through. So I'll take that. I think this is an equipped creature, so this is more of a black-white card. So let's just take the Stature. I think that's going to be fine for us. Okay, what is this? Light of Promise. Whenever you gain life, put that many +1/+1 encounters on this creature. No, thank you. Okay, I kind of think I'll just take Falcon. This is a control deck, so I don't hate taking the 5-drop. We're really looking to fill up the early part of our curve, not with so many 1/1s for 1, but more with removal spells, although we're kind of missing removal, which might be part of why this color pair isn't really getting there in the format. I guess I could play Shuri, but I would want some artifacts to go with that. I guess it discounts Herbies. Maybe if I can get some Herbies, that'll be good. Honestly, playing Herbie would like not be the worst thing in the world. Okay, but here, I'll probably just take Frozen. Oh my goodness, but it's also a Madame Mask. Okay, we are being absolutely spoiled for good blue-black pieces with a Frozen and Ice, a Madame Mask, a Tama's perfectly fine. I would play Stolen Stark deck. I would even play Bullseye. And Jessica Jones is like the best red uncommon. Better than most of the red rares, in fact. So I'm just going to snap up the Madame Mask, but that was actually a tough one because we do need that early interaction. I actually wonder if I'm supposed to take Kingpin's Enforcers over Aerial Doombot, just because I already have 3 1-drops. And the Aerial Doombot, or rather the Kingpin's Enforcers, is going to be good at keeping me alive. Aerial Doombot in a vacuum is a much better card. But I think let's just take the lifelinker that keeps us alive. Let's start separating out our interaction. Here I think I'll take Herbie, even though I already have a lot of 4-drops. A lot of 4-drops. I think that having Herbie is kind of cool. If I can get like 3 copies of Herbie, discount them with Shuri perhaps. I think that's going to be fine. It's also advantage, like it gives me card advantage. I'll take the Bold Biochemist because it's a 1/3 for 2. You know what that does? Typically not a very good stat line. Those cards are not super winning usually. But you know what a 1/3 for 2 does is it doesn't die very much. It doesn't die to a 2/2. Here I'll take AM Scientist. It can help get my mana under me, I suppose. It also connives, which is synergistic with Madame Mask and maybe some other things that we'll pick up. Here I'll speculate on the Hydra Troopers in case I end up desperately down a creature. What is this? When a villain you control enters, equip an equipment. Yeah, just wanted to take one more look at that. I guess I'd rather have the 2/2 in case I do end up with some equipment, but that's definitely in the sideboard. I would happily take some more depowers if I can keep just like shrinking their creature. That could be a nice way for me to stay alive. And yeah, we've ended up very solidly in the space that I wanted to explore, so I'm happy about that. Is the deck looking good? Probably not as good as whatever blue-white deck we could have had. Blue has been massively open though. Really don't want to play Stolen Stark Tech despite what I said earlier, because it is very much about doing combat, which is not what your control deck is looking to do. But I guess if I do end up with a Stolen Stark Tech and like another swordsman, maybe I can do some kind of equipment thing. But that's really not. Okay, well, there's the other Stolen Stark Tech. That's really not what we're looking to do. Not at all. All right, and then last picking a Vibranium Energy Daggers. Sure. Okay, interesting. So yeah, actually Ironheart, it can help me cast Atlantis attacks. That's definitely enough 5-drops for a lifetime. I have a huge spike at 4 in my curve, so I really need to get some cheaper cards. But I actually think Ironheart could be good in a control deck, or at least I want to try it out. I don't have that many I don't have that many artifacts that can help cast my spells, but honestly, playing Project Deathlock Soldier is nice. It actually is synergistic with Shuri. I had someone do this against me in my draft yesterday, copy an Ironheart with a Shuri. Well, it's worth a try. Okay, hi Super Skrull. Okay, well, I'm gonna take the Super Skrull, if only because it's really good with blue. It lets you draw 4 cards, but if I can get some incidental ways, activate an ability of a villain source, and it is a villain, so that's one way already of making red mana. If I can get some incidental ways of making red, I'll be really happy. Having said that, I really need to get my curve down now. I need to prioritize things that happen before turn 4. Oh, there was a black-red land that I passed on. I guess that would have been kind of nice. Okay, but I'm going to take Cruel Alliance, and I'm going to be really happy to see a Cruel Alliance here. I probably am going to have to cut... Probably Hydra Infiltration should not make the deck, given this massive clump I have in the 4-drop slot. We should view Kang as actually costing more than 4. But yeah, I'm going to very happily take the Hydra Infiltration. I think I need to not take Falcon. Honestly, maybe I take Dependable Quinjet. I could also take Hell's Kitchen, but I seem to be a little short on lands. I think the Quinjet can be really nice in a deck that has such an awful curve. I'm not going to take Crossbones as another 4-drop. Like, again, Falcon is the best card in the pack. Yeah, I mean, Hell's Kitchen is very tempting. There's an outside chance that I wheel it because nobody's playing Black-Red anymore. Wow, we get an Electra. Electra AIM Labs, Herbie. Okay, but I'm definitely taking this Electra and really happy about it. It is another 4-drop, but look, honestly, the 4-drop slot is not that chunky because I don't think that Kang should be viewed as a 4-drop. It's actually something more expensive than that, which is actually worse, of course, but you get my drift. Okay, now let's see. I could take another Dependable Quinjet. That seems like a little bit much. I could take another. I mean, triple Madam Mask is actually good, isn't it? It's like very unfortunate to have such a massive clump. I mean, I could take another Dependable Quinjet, but I think in multiples, that card is going to be so bad. Maybe I just cut Ironheart. Honestly, if I could not do... Yeah, let's cut the Ironheart. Another Villainous Hideout is actually really good. It goes awesomely with my Super Skrull. It even helps me cast Super Skrull. So I actually think that's quite good. I don't really want to play another Ghost. So yeah, I think that actually is looking pretty good here. I will actually take another Kingpin's Enforcers, and let's cut something. So I was saying, if I could get rid of this like Shuri, Project Deathlock Soldier, and Ironheart situation, I would actually probably be much better off for it. But maybe I take Kingpin's Enforcers and cut the Ghost, because that's like a more offensive type of card. Then here I can take the Decoy Ploy, probably. Maybe take another Ghost, just in case I decide any more 3-drops. What would I cut? Probably I don't. Okay, actually, if I can put Bold Biochemist in instead of Shuri, that makes me happy, right? I don't really have any artifacts that I'm trying to copy. And if you add together my 1-drops and my 2-drops, it's not feeling that ultra slow. I actually kind of like my deck. Dare I say it? I actually kind of like my deck. I guess maybe... Oh, we did wheel the Hell's Kitchen. That is so awesome. That is really, really good. I do need to make one more cut, I guess. Okay, I guess I'll take Arnim Zola. I feel like Project Deathlock Soldier is no longer doing basically anything in the deck other than looping with Kingpin's Enforcers in the world's slowest the world's slowest card advantage loop. So this is way too slow, right? So we need to do something about that. I need to put back in something. Okay, I cut Ghost for Shuri. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things to do before turn 3. I guess D-Power could technically be a 7th. I'd be more comfortable if I could get that number up one. Maybe I cut 1 Kingpin's Enforcers and play a Project Deathlock Soldier. That feels a little bit more active. Not super impactful, but a little more active. Okay, yeah, let's try something like that. And maybe am I supposed to be playing that 3, 4 for 5? Nah, I mean, I guess, yeah, Shuri's kind of useless here, but maybe it keeps me alive, and if I find it super useless, I'll swap it out for a Kingpin's Enforcers. But all right, well, you know what? We succeeded in doing something different. I'm not expecting to trophy, but we're at least going to learn something new. All right, interesting hand. I'll definitely keep it. It's not like it's unusually slow for my deck. It's probably quite usually slow for my deck. All right, go ahead and play the Bold Biochemist. Villainous Hideout is actually kind of sweet here. All right, so I could try to sneak in an Electra. When it dies, you make a 2/1. Yeah, that sounds not like something I really want to facilitate, so let's just do nothing. Oh, they are perhaps mana screwed. So I can actually just straight up cast a Super Skrull. Let's go to combat and see if they want their Agents of Hydra to die. Okay, awesome. That's what I was hoping would happen. Now I'm going to play Electra. If they counter Electra, then I've eaten a counter spell that will not hit Super Skrull. But no such, we say thee nay. All right, they hit a 3rd land, a 3rd basic land type, everybody. Sweet Outer Space Lands from Edge of Eternities. Hydra Troopers, you say. Oh, milling their very own Electra. Okay, so here's a question. Do we want to just run out Super Skrull? Even though it could just get destroyed next turn. The thing about Super Skrull is you actually never get to double spell with it ever. Ever. Right? Or you know, play it and immediately activate it. That would cost 9 or 10 mana. And whoever has 9 or 10 mana, unless you're in a super ramp deck. So I think we just run it out right now because they probably have a removal spell, but they could always have a removal spell for it. If they don't have a removal spell, it's nutty. All right, bouncing my Super Skrull. I hear you. That probably means that they don't have removal, so I'm actually just going to do exactly the same thing again, even though I could play Bold Biochemist, even though I could power up Bold Biochemist. I don't think I even play the Bold Biochemist because the only reason that you would play a Bold Biochemist is to power it up, and it's going to cost the same to power up whether I play it this turn or next turn. Let's see if they unlocked their Destroy Target Creature Surveil 1 for 3 and a black. They have not unlocked Truck Toss. All right, Taskmaster, you say. I can deal 4 damage to target creature. So this thingy can become a copy of a creature on the battlefield. So it can become a copy of Super Skrull. So maybe what I want to do is just Trickster Stratagem that guy, and I can make a 0/4 defender. Hey, I've done better things in my life, but let's level these two. Let's connive Electra and bounce Taskmaster. Target these two, I mean. All right. Oh, I didn't even get to make my 0/4 wall. That's so sad. Okay, well, you know what? When your opponent is also playing Grixis and gets mana screwed, and you draw the 2 best cards in your deck, then, hey, maybe then Dimir has a shot. Probably the 2 best cards in my deck. Maybe Kang, but there's probably 2 copies of Trickster Stratagem, to be honest. All right, 1-0, and while we queue for the next one, let me say that if you enjoy this kind of positive-minded, improver-focused content, please make sure that you're subscribed to my channel here on YouTube to catch a new draft video every weekday, as well as data deep dives that help you figure out what's good and what's not in the format, and in draft in general. All right, I will keep Bold Biochemist, D-Power, and Super Skrull. I'm obviously hoping to get some mana for Super Skrull, or to get some, some black mana for Super Skrull, but we have enough stuff to keep us alive in the meanwhile that I'm not panicked about it. All right, facing a blue-red deck. Hey, nobody's playing white today. That's very kind of them to not just hero in training me when I'm deliberately avoiding the temptations of the white decks. All right, pitching your Atlantis attacks. Wow, you'd almost think that we're a creature-based deck here. I will snap block Kunlun Warrior. I mean, the most common white removal spell, or the most common red removal spell is a Lightning Strike, probably, and that will kill Bold Biochemist. Okay, even if I don't block, so... Well, speak of the lightning, and the lightning shall strike. Okay, but another opponent seems to be mana screwed. So the secret to Dimir is make sure that your opponents have mana problems and are not playing white. That seems to be, fingers crossed, working well for us. All right, so kind of want to go Trickster's Stratagem, bouncing the Biochemist, targeting the Enforcers. I might just pitch the D-Power. Maybe I'll pitch the land then. I don't want to hit my lands, but I want my lands to be black lands. I mean, having an extra power on my lifelinker would be nice, and getting it out of lightning strike range would also be nice. But I'm putting some pressure on the opponent while they're having mana issues. They put the other one on the bottom, I guess. Okay, they just found another one. Okay, I guess that makes sense to sneak in the attack while they can. Getting a little bit unfortunate that we just cannot seem to draw any swamps, but I can do the cute little loop with the Project Deathlock Soldier. So play the land. If I attack, I'm guaranteed to gain 2. If I don't attack, I think I'm supposed to attack here to gain the 2 because I risk taking 1 from the Bold Biochemist. But the idea is now I'm just going to sacrifice the Project Deathlock Soldier on blocks, like block Kunlun Warrior, sack the Project Deathlock Soldier, and then I could take 1 from Bold Biochemist, but I gained 2 because I attacked. So I think everything that I just did was coherent. This loop is so slow though. 6 mana draw a card is not really not really where it's at in Contemporary Limited, but it is repeatable. So that's kind of nice. Wow. Am I playing way more islands than I think I am? Possibly. All right, in with Aerial Doombot. I'll probably just level it up. I feel like putting some pressure on them. I think the dirtily little loop is not exactly what's going to win me the game. Also, this means that if I hit a land and they don't do anything about the Aerial Doombot, then I can teamwork my Atlantis attacks. Okay, once again, if your opponent is playing blue-red and gets completely stuck on lands, the Dimir deck is awesome. We have yet to face a tuned white aggro deck to really test it out. Well, hey, 2-0, can hardly complain about that. On to the next one. This hand is pretty horrible, but you know what? I made my bed, now I have to lie in it. Like, I don't think this is a deck where I can really mulligan hands just because they are slow. I think it's just a slow deck. Yeah, this is looking rough. This is looking rough. I mean, we really must take over in the late game if this is how it's going to go. Maybe we can get off an Electra, but yeah, the chunkiness of our curve is really making us pay here. Turn 1 Shield Spy Kit, turn 2 Agent of Atlas, turn 3 equip the Shield Spy Kit is like one of the nightmare curves. So this is a better test for the deck than the other tests have been. But yeah, drawing a 4-drop and 2 lands, not exactly rescuing us here. So there is a question about, do I even target Agent of Atlas with Electra? Because they could perhaps be able to prowess. It's a power 3 or less, right? So they could perhaps prowess it. I'm a little uncomfortable with the idea of letting them just trigger prowess and save their creature. So maybe I just Trickster's Stratagem that guy for now. Technically, that does deprive me of the ability to connive. So the other option would be to play Herbie, get a swamp out, maybe draw another land. Then the following turn, I could connive, bounce the Herbie, play Kingpin's Enforcers if I draw a land. If I don't draw land, it's just super awkward. What are the odds that they have a non-creature spell? I would say very high, like very high. So let's not risk I'm gonna let them get in one more hit with Agent of Atlas. Okay, so yeah, I'll put the swamp in tapped. I'm not married to getting to connive with Trickster's Stratagem this turn necessarily. I don't know, it could just be that things are a little bit awkward over there. They seem to be surveilling everything to the bottom and digging and not playing anything. I kind of expected them to have a removal spell here. So maybe here I just play Madam Mask, honestly. Yeah, let's actually just go with Madam Mask. See what we rip off the top. I like the idea of finding another land. I really wonder what they're looking at over there. This just gives me like a lot of blockers. Yes, they're surveilling, but I actually don't really care about them surveilling. So I think I want Atlantis attacks. I want the Aerial Doombot. I definitely want Super Skrull. I want Trickster Stratagem. Kingpin's Enforcers is nice because it has a different mana cost from every other card in my deck. But having said that, I think it's just the weak link here. And I'm less desperate right now for creatures than I was like a few turns ago. Okay, so let's attack with Herbie, see what happens. I imagined something was going to happen. Okay, Helicarrier Strike. Yep, that makes sense. I wonder if their hand is just like 4 copies of Helicarrier Strike. That would be so funny. Now, if they attack, I'll probably just block with Madam Mask, I guess. That would be nice not to have to block with Madam Mask, but... Okay, no, let's just chump. Let's just chump. What am I talking about? I don't need to try to get a kill here. Go nuts onto Madam Mask. So you now have 4 damage on you. So you could attack, but then I get to block with a villain. Maybe even double block. Probably not double block. This will tell me a lot about the last card in their hand. Okay, so let's start with Trickster's Stratagem. Too bad that I don't get a Madam Mask. Actually, hold on. Oh, I'm so close to being able to Atlantis attacks. That would be so nice. But alas, I cannot. So it's Trickster's Stratagem, the Agent of Atlas, connive onto the Doombot, I suppose. Let's see what happens. Too bad that I can't also connive or play Super Skrull. Actually, yeah, let's probably just discard the Villainous Hideout. I think every other card in my hand is really good. And then I don't think I need to play around haste or anything, so let's just go in with both. Okay, now probably they're gonna play the Agent of Atlas and suit it up next turn. So this last card in their hand is like nothing, I guess. I could bounce both Shield Spy Kits, that would be really funny, but I think let's just play this Super Skrull. Is that right? And make a make a wall. Yeah, let's actually just straight up do that. That's so funny. But like, I don't think that this is going to be an unconditional removal spell. It could be Web Up, I guess, actually, now that I think about it. It actually could be Web Up. But yeah, gonna go in with both. I could have also just made the Aerial Doombot really humongous, but actually having a wall is like not that bad. Even though the white ability on Super Skrull sucks, having a wall is not that bad. All right, repeatable wall tech to get rid of this Agent of Atlas. I cannot Electra it. But you know what I can do is I can Atlantis attacks it. All right, end of turn, I'm gonna make a wall. So awesome. All right, that's my wall, folks. I never thought I would do it. You heard it here first. Now, do I even Atlantis attacks? Yeah, that's probably just good. So the way I want to do this is tap. Actually, would I rather just draw 4 and hold up D-Power? I mean, draw 4 cards is pretty strong, right? I hear. Maybe you just want to draw 4 cards. I'm such a sucker for drawing cards. It cannot be right in this situation, but I just wanted, like, my finger is itching to just draw 4 cards. You know what? I'm going to draw 4 cards. I know it's probably wrong. I hear you screaming. I hear you screaming at me. Unlimited Splash, don't draw 4 cards. But the moment that those words, Unlimited Splash, don't draw 4 cards, come out of your mouth, you should know it's hopeless what you're asking for. I am going to draw 4 cards. So I'll probably attack, and attack. Super Skrull did its job. If you kill Super Skrull now, I'm not even mad. Look, I have a wall. How can they hurt me? I have a wall. Okay, black. Okay, Grixis control in this format is awesome. Blue-black control is where it's at. Secret best archetype. I'm calling it right now. I'm unbeatable. I have a wall. All right. GG. We beat turn 1 shield into turn 2 Agent of Atlas. Specifically because the opponent weirdly, like, even with 3 Servils off of the shield, or 3 Scries off of the shield, they seem to have completely flooded out and specifically not found any other creatures. So that worked to our advantage. Blue-black seems to cast a curse of bad luck on the opponent. That might be part of the key to winning with blue-black in this format. But 3-0, on to the next one. All right, happily gonna keep this. Happily gonna keep this. Deep Power keeps us alive, and it's just a control hand. This is a classic control hand. Like any control hand in any Magic set. Okay. At a certain point, I wouldn't mind drawing something else. I'm just straight up gonna cycle Deep Power here. I think it would be nice to have some other cards going on. Yeah, I mean, having my own 1/3 like could be a lot worse. Because the reason I did that is I'm not really anticipating that they're about to slam down. You know what? I should have played Super Skrull. Or I should have played Swamp in case I draw Super Skrull, right? In case I want to play it on curve. But I'm not anticipating that they're going to do like a zillion damage to me immediately. So I didn't really think that I needed to hold that for a beefy creature. But okay, here comes Agent Sharon Carter proving me that I'm completely wrong. Now I have a very low chance of winning the game, right? That Agent Sharon Carter. I guess maybe one angle here is, what if I can Atlantis attacks some of those tokens before they pop them when they're tapped down? But yeah, this is really scary stuff. Agent 13 does not mess around. I honestly hate that card. It's like one of the most tilting cards to see on the other side of the battlefield. I'll obviously just, I mean, they obviously have something, but I'll just block with Herbie because Helicarrier Strike or whatever, or take up the shield. It would also kill the Bold Biochemist, or at least it would not save. Yeah, it would also have killed the Bold Biochemist, so double blocking is not an option. Yeah, very tilting card to play against for sure. All right, go ahead and play Madam Mask, but that's okay. I mean, we're also going to have plenty of card advantage when all is said and done. Okay, we can just throw away the... Maybe a Swamp at this point. I have more than enough to play Super Skrull. Go ahead and play... I kind of want to hide the Villainous Hideout from them. Not necessarily let them know that that's what we're aiming for. Yeah, I mean, it's not like I'm just lost to card advantage, so... But Agent 13 can completely take over games. Completely take over games. So... maybe I should have kept that Deep Power, is what I'm learning. I didn't necessarily predict that they were going to be blue-white, but as we saw before, more than half of everybody in the entire world is playing blue-white. If they have another Take Up the Shield, then what's going to happen is they're going to kill my Madam Mask, which is fine by me because it lets me play another Madam Mask. Okay, that's fine. So this is going to let me play my other Madam Mask. So this actually is like nicely unblocking for my hand. However, I guess it does mean that I can't Atlantis attacks this turn. So I guess that's a little bit unfortunate. I think let's just play Madam Mask, attack with the 2/1 Menace. Sounds about right. The other thing I could do is play AIM Scientist, Connive, and then Connive again. It'd be nice to have a Madam Mask out when I do that kind of thing, though. So actually, I think I don't... Oh, Trickster's Stratagem's kind of nice. I think I can put the land away at this point. I think I don't attack because I think that my villains are the ones who are going to be double blocking my villain tokens rather than getting Bold Biochemist in the mix, which is still like worth some cards. How do they have so many cards in their hand? It's unreasonable. I guess that's what Agent 13 plus Bold Biochemist does. This is more of an honest test of the deck quality, but this is just kind of the issue with blue-black in this format. My hand is actually kind of not like the most interaction you've ever seen, but I had depowered Trickster Stratagem and Atlantis attacks. But the thing is, it takes so long for all of that to get online and requires so much creature backup that this color doesn't really have, that one Agent 13 just shuts you down. So that's how that is. Okay. Oh my goodness, and you have an Atlantis attacks. Yeah, I probably just lose. Because I can't teamwork my Atlantis attacks anymore. And I can't really block that thing either. I think I do have to play Madame Mask. I can't block that thing. It's just going to investigate on me every turn. Like, I'm just every turn forbidden from teamworking. Maybe I just play AIM Scientist and I Trickster their thing. That might be better. Just get rid of this Agent 13 for a turn. Make it a little bit more difficult. Make it just a little bit more difficult for them to attack. Or a little bit less appealing for them to attack. And also get some redundancy. I think we'll just put back the Villainous Hideout. Get some redundancy in my power of my creatures. So they'll smack me with a 6/5. But then I can teamwork Atlantis attacks next turn. I'm not going to block. And they don't get to investigate from attacking. So it's actually just 6 damage. Black Panther on the splash. Holy smokes. Well, I guess that makes sense. But they turn out to be a very aggressive deck, actually. Well, a fairly aggressive deck. It's just so impossible to compete with the card quality when you're not in blue-white. So... why? Yeah, I was like, why is that not triggering? Arena was just taking a while. Oh, they were ordering the triggers is what was happening. At least they got nothing out of the scry, and then I get to like bounce some of their stuff. Yeah, very frustrating. Because also, if they had not had Atlantis attacks and I had just been 1 turn sooner with the Atlantis attacks, I think I do teamwork it though. Hard to see how I could not teamwork this. It's like bounce those two, I guess. Do it like that. Do I play the land because my deck is so mana hungry? I kind of also want to hold on to it as something to connive away. But yeah, I was just like a tiny bit too slow. This thing's probably not blocking, honestly. Because if I got into play Atlantis attacks a little sooner, maybe I could have dealt with their whole Agent 13 baloney. Yeah, now they just get to make another 1/1. Yeah, the white card quality is just... this is not the recipe for beating a tuned white deck, is what we're learning. If I had just pack one, pick one to web up, I would have had a fighting chance. But because I decided to play a different archetype, I don't. And yeah, this is not the recipe. So maybe if I could have got Kang off the top or Super Skrull or something. All right, but you know what? We're still in it. We're still in it. So we can't count ourselves out. I do get to connive. I can do this only as a sorcery, so I think I'd better just do that right now. Let's do it on AIM Scientists. And I don't really want the Quintjet, actually. I think I'd rather just have the counter over the Quintjet. I can always activate my Bold Biochemist. Another Shield Spike It. You know what? I've seen scarier things in my life. I think I'm going to block that with literally everything. Let's block it with AIM Scientists, Investigate, Scry. They can literally just draw 3. But you know what? Bold Biochemist also lets me draw 3. All they ever do is Surveil to the top as well, I noticed. Or sorry, Scry to the top. And they're going to draw it, so they have a combat trick that they can just draw. I'm just going to chump that. You know what? You clearly just demonstrated to me that you have something combat relevant that you consider just drawing. So let's let you just put that into your hand and not get the benefit for it right now. Raft security officer. Yeah, Agent 13 is a particularly stupid card, to be honest. That's one that I especially wish that they had not printed. All right, Stature, Hell's Kitchen, Shuri. It doesn't help that I have a lot of pretty bad cards in my deck, though. So I'll go ahead and play Stature and Shuri. 2 cards that I just shouldn't really be playing. But at least it's a lot more chump blockers. My villainous hideout does let me keep blocking them, so it's still a real game, because I'm just chumping. Stature can sneak in for 1, 2, 6, 7, 8 damage. Also, the tapping was awkward. Like, yes, I recognize that the tapping was very awkward. All right, now I guess I'll just try to get some of these combat tricks out of their hand. Do I? Probably not. If they have take up the shield, do I want to throw away an AIM scientist into that? I don't know. How many cards do they have? 16 cards left. Eventually, they're just going to start drawing all the cards. Well, they would start drawing all the cards that they scried to the bottom, except this person has only ever scried to the top. Seriously, every scry is straight to the top. I mean, these villains are pretty easy come, easy go. So if I throw 3 of them plus an AM scientist at this, they could take up the shield, kill AM scientist and 2 villains. I'm not too devastated by that. So let's play into take up the shield. Because anything else, if it's like Helicarrier Strike or something, I get to kill the Agent of Atlas. If it's double Helicarrier Strike or whatever. And you can't really play around any combination of 2 cards in Magic, basically, period. Unless you really have very clear signals about what your opponent has in their deck and might have in their hand. You can't really play around combinations of 2 cards. Okay, so we got rid of the 2/2. And then they're going to kill my Bold Biochemist. That's fine. I'm not terribly concerned about that part. Night Nurse. Can I get Kang, please? That would be a nice one. Oh, and then they bring back the Agent of Atlas and trigger Black Panther. Yeah. I also didn't see nearly as much of the black removal as I would have wanted to. I passed a little bit of blue removal, but mostly I took like every copy of Trickster's Stratagem that I saw. Maybe playing that D power really early was a bad move. Okay, so why don't we go ahead and bounce the Black Panther, and maybe I have Madame Mask connive so that she can block a 2/2 and live. I guess that could be good. So put back the Black Panther, get myself something that can do combat with a 2/2. Get another 2/1. Madame Mask is really good. That's one good thing that I have going for me. Make it 2/1. Play a Lifelinker. And then I could sacrifice a creature to draw a card on blocks. Do I just crack in there with Stature? Maybe it's time to start getting some damage in. She's not likely to be chump blocking. Oh, you're going to tap my Stature. I don't think so. I think they're going to tap something to deal damage. They'll probably tap Kingpin's Enforcers, put the Spy Kit on Night Nurse, and crack in for a bunch of damage. But whatever I block with is going to get sacrificed to Kingpin's Enforcers. You know what? I'm pleased with how well I'm holding up against your run-of-the-mill white deck, which in this set is absolutely cracked in half. I'm not too worried about the Scry. Okay, they don't want me to be chump blocking. Fair enough. I do wonder what this means that they have. So there's no Scry going on. All right, pass to blockers. I'm just going to organize a big block. They don't have the red pump spell. I can't think of what other pump spell they would have, but let's just keep Madame Mask out of combat. Yeah, is there anything that I want to sacrifice here? I'm going to go with no. All right, I take 1. The board simplifies in a way that's probably not great for me. Sack their clue to get their Black Panther back. Play the Black Panther. Okay. I'm trying to find things that are interesting to me in this format. I'm trying really hard. This could be more boring, I guess, right? I could get, I mean, I still have Super Skrull, Kang. Hey, there's Kang. That's pretty good. And Falcon. I haven't seen Falcon yet. I don't think I'll play Kang. I think I want to play Falcon next turn, then play Kang. Maybe I play Kang, get my extra turn. I'm down to 8 cards in my deck, so as much as I'm making fun of how many cards they've drawn, What do I have left? I mean, I do still have Super Scroll. That would be a good one. Although I can only activate... The blue ability doesn't matter anymore. I guess the green ability is really good on Super Scroll, though. Do I attack with Stature? Kind of afraid of dying, but... Oh, they might actually tap down Stature this time. I think I do attack with Stature, because, like, Stature can do a lot of damage, right? 6, 7, 8 damage. 9 damage. If I activate it on a turn. Oh, Raft Security Officer, though, does make my life a little bit hard, doesn't it? They basically now get to pick what I chump with, I guess. Almost. I'm only going to chump with Madame Mask if I'm absolutely forced to. I could hold back Stature. Okay, what are you targeting? Whatever you target gets sacrificed. Madame Mask. Okay, yeah. That gets sacrificed immediately. Even though this decks me further. It's really funny. All right, draw card. Trickster Stratagem for the Black Panther again. I guess I could Trickster Stratagem my own creature. Yeah, holding back Stature on the block would actually be a good strategy for survival, except that this Black Panther. Oh, am I just dead? They almost had me dead. 4, 5, 6, 7. Didn't they? Oh, no, not quite dead because I still have Kingpin's Enforcers. I forgot. I'll probably just block with Kingpin's Enforcers this time, I'd say, right? Nah, let's block with the Bold Biochemist. It does nothing for me. I mean, gaining the HP would be kind of nice, but... Interesting that they didn't want to deny me that opportunity. So I could play Electra, killing Raft Security Officer. That actually seems really good. Killing Raft Security Officer seems good. Play Falcon. Unfortunately, I have no more 2-1 factory because Madame Mask is gone. Falcon is no longer very good because I'm never going to want to surveil ever. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and kill Raft. They tap my creature. That makes sense. Yeah, Trickster Stratagem. Up to 1 target creature you control connives. So I don't have to deck myself with Trickster Stratagem. Things you never thought about before. Okay, you know what? This game turned interesting. I'll give it that much. It's not as boring as it could have been. And then, yeah, I'll attack with Stature. Unbeknownst to them, I'm actually perfectly happy to block... Maybe with... Actually, at this point, I'm perfectly happy to block with Kingpin's Enforcers. No, that was like my main way of killing them. Oh, that's so sad. Yeah, I mostly just want to block with Kingpin's Enforcers at this point. They still have a clue to crack. This is so funny. Oh, this turned out to be pretty good magic. This is so funny. I just feel like I'm fighting with both hands tied behind my back. Seriously. I just feel like both hands are tied behind my back. Like the pieces that I'm trying to do battle with are so pathetic compared to what they have access to. Okay, well, I'll be double blocking with Kingpin's Enforcers. I'll be triple blocking, I guess. I guess I'll block with everything, to be honest. I don't think they have a combat trick here. Maybe they do. They only ever scry to the top because every card in white is excellent. So if you're playing white, any card that you have is a card that you want to draw. But okay, let's see what they've got. I'm just blocking with everything because I want to play around like Helicarrier Strike. Even here, Helicarrier Strike actually kills me because they can kill Falcon Winged. So I guess I didn't think that through. Helicarrier Strike would just be a board wipe. So messed up. But I don't think that they have it. Okay, I gain some HP. Their Agent of Atlas goes away. All right, so I think I now just play Kang with the level up. With the power up. They put something on top last turn. I wonder what that was about. Super Skrull. Okay, so can I play... So he finally decided to show up. I can play Super Skrull and kill Black Panther. Is that good? Probably getting out Super Skrull right now is just a good plan. So play the Super Skrull. Kill the Black Panther. hold everything back probably to not just die. Maybe I can attack with Falcon. No, okay, they don't have, the counter wouldn't do it. It would just make it so that I can't like double spell. Okay, I'll auto pay. It lands. Yeah, that's quite unfortunate. Can I possibly attack here? I'm gonna go with probably not. So if I attack, I can bring them down to 20. Next turn, I mean, I'm gonna have to chump with so many. I probably am gonna have to chump with Falcon. They know what card is on top whenever they put something on top of their deck. I have how many cards left? 5? Hold on. Can I deck them with Super Scroll? Could I possibly just deck them out with Super Scroll? That could be a way that this game ends. They have how many cards left? 9? We're getting there. We're getting close. Okay, so I have to get Super Scroll into combat, unfortunately. Block there and block there, probably. Something like that. I assume Super Scroll is a goner if I do this, so can I save my Super Scroll? Hold on, is there actually a way for me to deck them? So Super Scroll, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5. So I have 8, 9, 10 mana. So I would actually need 2 more mana to make them draw 4 twice. If I play Kang, this is 8. So again, I would need, because if I had 12 mana, then I could go Kang for 8 and Super Scroll for 6. No. I would need 14 mana. Never mind. I'm just going to go with this. I think their attack is consistent with them not having more removal, but they probably do have removal. If Super Scroll dies, it's unfortunate. Hey, Super Scroll survived. Super Scroll straight up survived. Okay, so can I... One problem is super bouncing their creature does put another card back in their library. Land is not what I'm looking for. 5, 6... Okay, I think let's play Kang and power it up. Get the extra turn. Let's see, let's think for a second. I can actually get a wall if I play Kang. That's kind of cool. I love getting a wall. Okay, so attack with both. No, you know what? I should have seen if Kang resolves before I do this. That was actually pretty dumb. Actually, Kang has to resolve, doesn't it? So, but I should have done this before combat. This was clumsy. Do Kang, take an extra turn, then I'm gonna make a wall. Make a wall. All right, now how do I not die here? So I can attack for 9, 10, 11, 12. Trickster's Stratagem one of their creatures, play a Project Deathlock Soldier, shoot one of their creatures. So I kind of want to deal 4 damage to one of their creatures, bounce another one. I have a wall back. I think I can survive with just like 2 blockers. So let's see. I'm going to deal 5 to probably, it has to be either Red Guardian or Hero in Training. Let's just call it Red Guardian. 5 damage to Red Guardian. I only am going to make them draw 4 if it's like the actual straight up kill. I'm going to Trickster's Stratagem, let's say Black Panther, because anything else would trigger Black Panther. Put the counter on, let's call it Falcon. Actually, no, I don't want to Surveil. I think I'm too close to dying. So I'm just going to put Black Panther back, but no Surveils, please. Now, what would I die to? I think I'm going to hold back 2 creatures here, because this has them on a 1-turn clock. And now I have 3 blockers. Okay. And even if they can jump something with Panther Pounce, I have a blocker. If they can jump 2 things with Panther Pounce, I'm dead. If those are both Panther Pounces in their hand, then I'm dead. It's not 2 Panther Pounces. Wow, this turned out to be amazing magic, didn't it? Now this is, feels high pressure. All right, I'll block with probably Project Deathlock Soldier rather than sacrificing my wall. Is there a trample trick? You know what? I'm actually just going to double block. This is so awesome. This is so awesome. I'm actually just going to double block. I don't want something cheesy to happen here. I don't know about trample. There's like a red combat trick that does double strike and trample. This is too awesome. Looks like the dream of milling them out is probably gone. Ooh, Cruel Alliance is pretty good. Gain 3 life. I don't mind if I do. So let's start by attacking with both. I don't think there's any reason that I wouldn't. So in with Super Scroll and Kang. Oh, you have a giant size flying ant. That's so funny. That is super funny. Okay, so you're going to tap my Kang. Okay, let me think for a second here. Still cannot quite deck them out. Okay, so you tap my Kang. I can attack with Super Scroll. They take 4. Then I Cruel Alliance tapping Falcon to kill Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Super Scroll can only get +4/+4, unfortunately. Oh, you know what I can do is I can attack with Super Scroll, shoot the giant-sized flying ant before it blocks. Then Cruel Alliance tapping Falcon. Then I have a blocker on the ground and 7 HP is actually pretty secure. This can hit Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., right? Exile creature with mana value 3 or less. Oh, I could have exiled... No, they play the giant-sized flying ant on combat. I don't know what I'm talking about. I could exile it after combat, but I think I'm good. I think I just attack with Super Scroll. And then shoot this before blocks. I don't think I'm supposed to leave that up. I think we kind of need this to resolve. Let's just shoot that before blocks. Next. Bonk. And then I'm going to cast Cruel Alliance, tapping Falcon to exile Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm feeling very tapped down here, but I'm at 7. Even if they top deck Panther Pounce, I'm not dead. Like if they can get their hero in training flying and put both shield spy kits on it. If they have a removal spell for Project Deathlock Soldier, I stay at 4. Or yeah, I stay at 3 HP. All right, I'll definitely be blocking this. You get to scry. 1 on the bottom. All right, for once they're scrying things to the bottom. 1 on the bottom. Block hero in training. Kill my Deathlock Soldier. Shield flying car. Whoa. What does that do? What does that do? You can blink. Hero in training. Draw a card. Crew a blocker. This is unfair. At least we're past their combat step. 2 cards left in my deck. I cannot believe I won that game. That might be the best game that I've played of this set. So there you have it. You know what? Dimir Control can beat the white decks. It can even beat Agent 13. And I didn't even have to make them draw 8 cards with my Super Scroll. That was just too awesome. Oh, now it's actually a well-deserved 4-0. Okay, on to the next one. Wow. If you like good Magic, make sure you're subscribed to my channel. That's got to be the second best game I've played of this format. The best one, you're going to have to watch my Win-A-Box. The Win-A-Box run with where I had almost no rares is like how you would find it on my channel. The thumbnail text is something like just 1 rare. And the first game of that one was the best game I've played of this set, partly because there was a box on the line. That was just an amazing game of Magic. That game that we just played actually came pretty close. That came pretty close. Okay, so Kingpin's Enforcers, we're going to get fixed off of the villain. I'm just putting down Shuri. Yeah, you would very reasonably think that this is a card that I actually care about. The presumption of competence that there's like a reason that I have that in my deck, instead of just having such an abysmal curve that I feel like I need at least, you know, a third 2-drop. But I think running it out there was good to both to soak up the removal, which is better than I expected, but also just to get some power on the battlefield. Oh, what's this? An actual plan being set up. Oh, so awkward to draw Super Scroll with this combination of mana. So when a villain you control enters Drain, when the 5th plane counter I exile the top 5 and you can play 2 without paying their mana cost. So that's very scary to me because I'm playing a control deck that has a lot of good cards in it, and I don't think I have any way of handling that plan. So we're about to see a cool build around, and honestly, it's a very scary one for my deck to face. Yep. Doom Reign Supreme into a villain. Yep. No, that's very scary. All right, gonna play a land. Let's get in with everybody. And then I think I'm gonna play Madam Mask because I think what I need to do right now is just have the absolute maximum power and toughness. I guess Falcon is good because it's evasive damage. I maybe want to throw away the Super Skrull. No, because if I can get... Actually, this is so awkward, but I think I actually throw away Falcon. Because, look, if I can just get one more black source, I get to play Super Skrull. That's pretty awesome. Throwing away Falcon is so awkward, but... Listen, we just want to get the absolute maximum of power and toughness down. The other thing is if I play a land next turn, I can power up my Bold Biochemist. Yeah, okay, when he attacks, you connive. Oh, that's a really, really, really good draw. I'm going to put the connive onto Kingpin's Enforcers. That was a really good draw. So this is when you do the 5th plan counter. Yeah. I'm not going to throw away Super Skrull, as tempting as that is. But it's really nice to get an extra villain here. Get some more power and toughness on the battlefield. Menace as well. And yeah, let's play the Swamp, and then we can drop Super Skrull next turn. So we're actually racing pretty nicely against this Doom Reigns Supreme. So this thing is when you draw your 2nd card, it gets a +1 counter. Agents of Hydra. So like a AIM Scientist or something would have been really good for them there. Like a 4/4 and turn your 1/1 into a 2/2. Oh, that's pretty strong, potentially. Yeah, they're about to rip Doom Reign Supreme off, so good for them. Just hopefully they don't hit Kang when they do it. Although they can't activate Kang. What else do I have that would be really good? Got rid of my Falcon. Joke's on you, I only play bad cards. So that's my counter to your Doom Reign Supreme. I sideboarded out all of my good cards. Only my bad cards are left. Okay, so let's go ahead and connive onto Kingpin's Enforcers, I'd say, probably. Could also be the Menace creature, but I'm going to go with Kingpin's Enforcers. I think that's what they're most likely to block. Make myself an extra 2/1. Oh, Atlantis Attacks. Atlantis Attacks is so good because I can bring, if they play my creatures, I can bring them back to my hand. So I need to keep Atlantis Attacks here. A little awkward that I'm not hitting the mana to unlock my really stacked hand, but I think I go in... So I'm at least attacking with Kingpin's Enforcers and the 2/1. The question is, do I also attack with Madam Mask? It does get me a kind of a nice 2-for-1, but I think it's really important that I have that survive so that I can teamwork my Atlantis attacks. That seems really important. Yeah, I drew a really nice counter to Atlantis attacks. Now, the question is, do I just not even give them the 2/1? I think I probably do give them the 2/1. It's an interesting idea. No bad ideas in a brainstorm, but I'll let them just get Doom Reign Supreme off here. So let's see what they find. The top 5 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, they found Electra. So they can kill my... They're going to play D-Power and Electra, I guess. I hope they play the 1/2, because then I can bounce it back to my hand. D-Power. Okay, fair enough. So they're going to kill my Kingpin's Enforcers, I assume. Could be Bold Biochemist, but probably Kingpin's Enforcers. Okay, that could have been a lot worse for me. Now, hopefully, I'm going to get my Electra. I would love to draw land next turn. That would be ideal. Land next turn, please. Unfortunately, I cannot make a wall the turn that I play Super Skrull because I have to use the Villainous Hideout to fix for it if I draw a Swamp next turn. Ruinous Wrecking Crew, are you kidding me? That's frustrating. Okay, so they would have sacrificed their Agents of Hydra to the Ruinous Wrecking Crew anyways. Okay, what are you sacrificing? I'll sack the Bold Biochemist naturally. Okay, so they left me my Electra, so that's kind of nice. I will take that. All right, land. Oh man. I guess I'm happy that they didn't draw that, but holy cow, this is getting a little bit frustrating. what's my plan here? If I draw land, what am I going to discard? I think I just play King. But yeah, this is getting a little frustrating. Have I been discarding lands? I guess it's on me. Maybe I should have been discarding fewer lands. Do I just play Kang though? It's a good blocker. I'm going to take heat from the Ruinous Wrecking Crew. I don't really want to bounce the... I really don't want to bounce the Electra. Next turn, they'll probably play their own Kang. Frustrating. Very frustrating. I could always double block the Ruinous Wrecking Crew. Nah, I just want to chump that. I just want to land. I'll probably throw away Super Skrull, I guess, at this point. Because next turn, I can play Atlantis attacks. Then the turn after that, I can play King. I mean, the moment that I do this, I'm going to draw all lands. Yeah, this probably means that I've misplayed some things to get to this point. I guess I could have attacked with Madam Mask, forced a block with Ruinous Wrecking Crew. Maybe I'm like a little bit too obsessed with this value plan of Atlantis attacking my Electra, but it seems pretty good. Seems pretty good. All right, so that thing gets to connive. You might as well do it. See if it gets a counter. It does, and I get drained for one. And then, yeah, I'm going to throw the 2-1 in front of the Wrecking Crew. They choose not to attack with... Oh, okay, well, then I'll just trade. This might put me to a dangerously low life total. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is play this land, and then I can play Kang, get the extra turn. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Play Kang, get the extra turn. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then activate Atlantis attacks. That sounds good. So play King, power it up. I'm not going to attack. Go to my turn. Play Atlantis attacks. Teamwork. So hold on. Do I actually want to tap Madam Mask? I'm going to be bouncing 2 creatures. So basically the idea is I would attack with Kang, put them on a 1-turn clock. I'm going to bounce Electra back to my hand and bounce their Kang. Then I have a 6/5, and the 6/5 has hexproof. That holds back the Ruinous Wrecking Crew. Worst case scenario, they do even... I don't even know how they would deal with it. Yeah, I think I'd attack with King. Play Atlantis attacks. This was more awkward than I hoped it would be. It would have been more devastating a few turns ago, but I'm going to make the Leviathan, please. I want my Electra back and put that King back in your hand. And then I'm going to tap Madam Mask for the teamwork. I get a 6/5. I get my creature back. I have a blocker. You cannot destroy target hexproofing Leviathan. I'm at 11, so even if you manage to deal a bunch of damage to me, hopefully I'm still living. And you're facing a lethal 5 damage next turn. Okay, you get to connive. See if you find something. You can deal 2 damage to any target. Kang for the rescue. This thing saves my butt every game. Oh, did not think about that. Did not think about that. All right, well, I can connive and deal lethal to them, so I'm definitely going to trade for Ruinous Wrecking Crew. I'm definitely going to trade. Okay, I'm still representing lethal, but no, I actually forgot that they would drain me on the connive. I thought that this thing drains when it attacks, but of course it drains whenever you draw your second card. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and connive. Pitch a creature, probably just, yeah, exactly. Exactly, and 6 damage in the air. All right, heck yeah. this Dimir control, you know what? It's definitely scrappier than the white decks. I definitely am needing to find my bombs. But when I do, it's got a lot of gas. So we are currently 5-0, fighting it out. On to the next one. All right, I mean, not the greatest hand anyone ever invented, but I don't think it's worth throwing back in this deck, in the context of this deck. Now we should be playing only swamps because of Super Skrull. I mean, I'm just very, very impressed that the deck is 5-0, but it was a hard-fought 5-0. It's not like that was an easy 5-0. All right, hopefully they spend some removal on Shuri like the last person did. Yeah, yeah! Shuri looks like a bomb, and maybe in some decks it would be, but in my deck it is so not a bomb. Yeah, maybe last game I kind of screwed up. by throwing away a lot of lands? I do wonder. Okay, I think this time maybe let's actually just toss a Bold Biochemist. The thing is my deck is so mana hungry. Bold Biochemist is kind of awesome on 6 though, right? It's actually complicated. Bold Biochemist is so good on turn 6 after playing Madam Mask, but having Madam Mask redundancy sounds good. You know what? I'm going to throw away Falcon for the simple reason that they have a reach creature. They have a 4/4 reach. That kind of makes Falcon a lot worse, right? I think that made sense. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that made sense. I guess now it would be good on defense. Oh yeah, Super Scroll with all the hideouts. We have plenty of stuff to do before it comes to that. The other thing is one Madam Mask could pitch a card to the other Madam Mask. Do I start attacking? Because they're going to start getting in for vigilance damage in the air. Also, my Madam Mask could block. Yeah, I was going to say one Madam Mask could pitch the other Madam Mask. Yeah, I kind of like the idea of just starting to get in for damage. So I could block their Pet Avengers with a Madam Mask. Okay, never mind. I'm just, at this point, do I throw away a land or do I just want every single land I can get my grubby hands on? 2/3, 2/3. So already, if I played Super Skrull and I had these 2 lands, then I could make a wall. I think I'm just gonna pitch an island. I think just throwing away so much value for a counter is just a bad idea. If they do level up Pet Avengers, it looks like a good idea for them to attack. Oh no, sorry, that costs 7 mana, not 6. It would look to them like a good idea for them to attack, but I would have been very eager to just trade off Madam Mask. Okay, I think I'm just going to play the Bold Biochemist and power it up. Let's start with an attack, AIM Scientist attack. They can't level it up, can they? No. Take out the shield. That's fine. It does gain them a lot of HP, but that's fine. I'll play the Biochemist, draw. Like, I'm just getting so many tokens. I'm not scared about this. 2 lands is actually pretty good. It just makes Super Skrull so good when it lands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here, powering that guy up. Now it's a 6/6. Okay, I'll take some damage. Ooh, we're getting attacked. I like it. I like it. Yeah. All right. Kind of a 1-for-1 in a way, I guess, right? There's no 0 mana combat trick to play around here. All right. Kang the Conqueror. Everything is coming up. Unlimited splash. So I can go Super Skrull, draw a card, or I can Trickster Stratagem and do nothing. Or not Super Skrull, draw a card. Super Skrull, make a wall. I could also... Yeah, I kind of want to Trickster's Stratagem, honestly. It's like kind of passive. Maybe I just play Super Skrull and make the wall. The thing is, like, it could get removed, but then I have a Kang anyways. The other... Okay, one line is Super Skrull, make a wall. The issue with that line is I'm losing value on Madam Mask, and it could just eat a removal spell. And if I wait 2 more turns, then I could go Super Skrull, deal 5 to something instead. But if it eats a removal spell, I still have Kang next turn. So I'm not too scared about that. So, and if they had a removal spell, they probably would have already removed the Madam Mask. So I'm just going to go with play Super Skrull and do nothing. Worst case scenario, I just spent my turn making a wall and taking a removal spell out of their hand. All right, let's make a wall. Best case scenario is something like this. Play a land. Kind of want to draw 4. I just love drawing 4 cards. I don't know about you. The instant that I can draw 4 cards, that's all that I want to do. I am going to have to discard some stuff, but yeah, let's just draw 4 cards. That seems powerful. 1, make it 2/1, draw 4. All right, and we got a 1-drop that we can play, and now our hand is full. So that's pretty awesome. I don't really want to attack. It's greedy, but like, I feel like having just filled up my hand completely, I don't really want to extend myself too much. All right. Okay, now what? This is pretty fun. So we can go Atlantis attacks. Oh, this is just too awesome. I don't even know what to do. So I kind of want to kill that Pet Avengers. Yeah. I can't even decide. Like, Double Trickster Stratagem Atlantis attacks, Kang the Conqueror, Madamask, and a Herbie in my hand. That's a nice way to get to Diamond. All right, folks, we are 6 wins, 0 losses, playing for the trophy in our forcing anything but white build. If this were a clean 7-0, I would be thrilled. Something tells me we're about to lose 3 games in a row, but you know what? 6-0 with this deck, already such a victory. All right, I might as well keep this. Again, same logic as before. It's such a slow hand. If they're playing a fast white deck, I'm toast. But my curve is such a problem. I don't really have that much to do about that. Like, I can't really mulligan until I find a 2-drop. I'll probably be mulliganing to 4 most of the time, which is an issue in deck construction. I wish I had more removal and more early plays, because this Agent of Atlas could just kill me. Okay, actually, Cruel Alliance is a really nice one. A little awkward against Agent of Atlas, but hopefully finding it this early means that they're not going to be able to hold up prowess tricks. Oh, interesting. Full on Abzan. All right, cool. All right, I hope they tap out. That's a little tedious, but all right, actually Depower is a nice draw. If I had 6 mana, I could counter their prowess shenanigans by depowering it. Well, let's see if they go Shield Spike Hit. Okay, Tigra. Yeah, all right. No, sure. It's a little rough for me. That is a little bit rough for me. All right, I am going to depower just to take a little bit less damage. Sorry, Trickster's Stratagem, not exactly what I need right now. I almost wonder if I'm supposed to cycle the AIM Scientists. Wakandan Drone Flock. Well, Falcon's really good against that, at least. I'll take 5 next turn, probably. I think I don't want to play the AIM Scientists. I think it's better to do Trickster's Stratagem or something, because they might just have removal locked in their hand. Oh, that's actually quite good. Okay, so in that case, I think I'm going to Cruel Alliance Agent of Atlas and play the Deathlock Soldier, because then they do get to attack me with the Wakandan Drone Flock. This holds back Tigra, hopefully, unless they have a way of gaining life, like a hero in training or something. I think this is a hero, so little ways of gaining life would be a problem for me. I would probably still just chump. But I have just absolutely freaking summoned it into existence. That's very frustrating. That's genuinely a little bit frustrating. Well, I'm definitely just going to chump. Certainly no reason not to, as far as I can tell. All right, go ahead and play a land. I mean, we knew that our deck would be weak to this kind of thing when we built it. But yeah, now they have whatever removal they had in their hand this whole time. They're even splashing black, so wouldn't be not at all surprised if they have removal from that splash. Yeah, I mean, this is just the clunkiness of my deck being on display. I actually drew really good answers, like the Depower, Cruel Alliance, and Project Deathlock Soldier. So maybe I was supposed to remove the Tigra, but the thing is, no, the Deathlock Soldier blocks Tigra really well, which is why I didn't remove it. Yeah, exactly. They just have stuff. Okay, we're close to concession territory. Could almost concede, but let's give it another turn cycle, I guess, or maybe I'll draw, see if I can find a 2-drop off of this somehow. Okay, well, I won't literally concede, but all they need is a single piece of interaction. Okay, yeah. So that they're white, green, splashing black. I mean, makes sense to go down to that deck. That's obviously a much better place to be in the format. At the same time, I don't think that was a problem with blue-black necessarily. That was an issue with I have a very, very sketchy curve. Even having said that, though, like, specifically having hero in training there is so brutal. I guess if they'd web upped my 1-2, though, it would have been a similar thing. I don't know. I just, like, I think maybe part of why blue-black is so bad is that, like, the 2-drops, or why non-white color pairs are so bad, is actually the lack of 2-drops. The difficulty of building the curve might have been a quirk of this draft, but it could also just be a quirk of where this color pair falls in the format, right? Because I don't want to play, like, Agents of Hydra. Even the 1-3 for 2 in blue is, like, very awkward. It would have been cracked down by any of their creatures. So that was more of a normal facing a white deck than the other experiences we've had today. But hey, you know what? I have a 1-drop. So there. And a D-power. That's pretty awesome. I might actually throw away the AIM Scientist just to make sure that I hit my land drops here. Okay, well, you know, if I draw my 4th land, that's just fine. I think I'll probably hold on to D-power here rather than just running it out. Oh, wow. I might actually just straight up die to this. This is a bit much damage for my deck to withstand. Now I'm not going to save this for more damage because they're representing so much damage in just triggers, Hydra triggers. The stratagem is a good answer to that. Really awkward. Really awkward to not have anything to do here, but I will hold back stature and just give it a +1/+1 counter. Double trigger. Seems like they might be mana screwed, and yet I still am like probably in a position to lose because they're just representing so much damage. I actually am just gonna level this up. I think having the 2/2 matters. Yeah, the thing about Atlantis attacks and Trickster's stratagem and everything is these actually just give them more triggers off of their creatures. I know it was massively defensive to level up the stature, but yeah. Yeah. I think I'm probably just dead to the Hydra Assault robots. Isn't that really sad? Yeah, that sucks. I could also have played AM Scientist instead of Herbie. Oh wow, if I hadn't played the Herbie, I could go... Oh no, sure, it doesn't matter. I don't need the Shuri to discount it. What am I saying? Okay, but I'm gonna go in with Herbie. I need to get some alternative win condition online ASAP. All right. This is okay. It's a little... I probably should have just cycled the AM Scientist a while ago, honestly. To hit my 7th land. We'll see what they have here. If it's like Truck Toss on the Falcon Winged Wonder, then they're really shutting down my counterplay. At least a 6/5 Leviathan is pretty good counterplay. At least that's pretty good counterplay. Okay, Fin Fang Foom I'm not worried about. It is a villain, so it does some damage to me. But now I think I'm representing more damage than them in the air. Madam Mask, you say. So I'm going to Trickster Stratagem the Fin Fang Foom. Surveil on... Could even be on Stature. Probably not on Stature. Let's Surveil on the 1/1. Draw a land. Okay, so then I can just throw away AIM Scientists. Should have done that a while ago, frankly. Now I get to attack Surveil. So now I'm actually threatening stuff, which is really good. That's something that I needed to happen. And then next turn, I can bounce both of their Hydra Assault robots so that they don't get more triggers off of Fin Fang Foom, perhaps. We'll see. They might have something fancy here. They're almost at Atlantis attacks mana. I mean, not that close, but semi-close. Okay. And then 2 more triggers. It's just ridiculous. I mean, Atlantis... It's ridiculous partly because Atlantis attacks is so specifically horrendous against this. So I'll double block. They kill Stature. The problem is that Atlantis attacks requires me to tap down a bunch of stuff, so I don't really have an attack here. It is possible that I just accept the damage. I think I want to Atlantis attacks, a Hydra Assault robot, and War Machine. But that alone is another 1, 2, 3 damage to my face. But I am getting in 5 damage if I do that, and suppose I don't play Fin Fang Foom. And then I have a 6/5 for them to deal with. I'm going to try that. Teamwork, bounce, and make it 6/5. I think I'm toast. Wow, we really ran up against a wall here, didn't we? Maybe I just bounce War Machine and the Machine Smith Automaton. I could also bounce, I don't know what, Hydraulic Helper? Yeah, I'm going to bounce War Machine and a Hydra Assault Robot. And I'm going to tap my 2 creatures on the ground because I do have ground blockers. And I'm going to attack with both, even though it does put me closer to dead. And then I just have to hope to find an answer to Fin Fang Foom, because they can just play it and attack with it next turn. So definitely put that in the graveyard. Yeah, I think I'm just dead to direct damage here. Yeah, they just recast this, get 3 more damage. And then I don't really have attackers. If they have a land into Fin Fang Foom, that's really bad for me. We'll see. War Machine, okay. No, could be worse. This becomes a 6/5. Wow. And then it gets an extra 1, so it can trample over for 1. So it's a forced block, and they get to deal 3 damage. Maybe tapping my creatures was more dangerous than I realized. Yeah, that's a free extra damage for them. Even Kang doesn't save me because I can't level it up. Actually, Hell's Kitchen could be a much worse. That could be worse, right? That could be worse. So I probably have to just attack. I mean, if they can play 2 robots, then I can't even take 1 damage. So I think I just attack with Falcon. It doesn't technically change the calculus. Actually, you know what? I was supposed to do this before attacks. So I can play the dependable Quinjet, but it doesn't add a blocker to play that. And Aerial Doombot plus the Hawk is lethal. The problem is that they have Fin Fang Foom. That doesn't care about dependable Quinjet. So I'll play this, play Hell's Kitchen. This game is actually going to be close. If I draw Kang, I actually get a second turn now. Drawing Super Skull does nothing. Yeah. So let's see what they have. If they play Fin Fang Foom, they can't cheat damage through attacks as far as I can tell. I can block War Machine without my card dying also. So it looks like I'm going to take 2 from Fin Fang Foom. But then I think they can survive my attacks. They have to block Aerial Doombot. And then they cannot take 1 other damage. Oh, Trickster's Stratagem, you say. Does that let me get lethal through in the air? Could be. 2, 3, 4. No, it doesn't. It doesn't, because if I Trickster's Stratagem Fin Fang Foom, put a counter on the flyer, then I cannot level up Aerial Doombot. However, if I attack with Trickster's Stratagem Fin Fang Foom, attack with everything, then they're going to block Falcon, take 3 in the air, block Madam Mask, a 2/1 in the 2/2, and take 2 on the ground. So I'm 1 damage shy. So that means that if I connive something off of Trickster's Stratagem, the other option is attack with everything. They get to block Aerial Doombot. I spend 6 mana upgrading it. Oh, no. Oh, yes. I can also connive with the Villainous Hideout. That gives me 2 chances. So I need to spread the counters here. Put a counter on Aerial Doombot. Hopefully. No, it's a non-creature. I do get another 2/1. Then I'm going to connive onto Aerial Doombot. Come on, non-creature. Kang, where were you on this draw step? Attack with everything. If they have D-Power, I die. Is it just D-Power? Lightning Strike would also kill me here. But if I'm representing lethal, I'm probably supposed to go for it, right? Because all they need is 2 villains to kill me. Yeah, I mean, a single interaction spell and they kill me, but I do not think that I'm supposed to just let them burn me out with the Hydra Assault robots. So let's see. D-Power kills me. Lightning Strike kills me. There's no shortage of things that kill me here. What'll it be? What will it be, my friend? Currently facing lethal damage. Regardless of the blocks you line up, it's exact lethal. Do you have interaction? These have been some sweet games of Magic. Loving the blue-red demonstration of what makes blue-red good. All right, they're making us sweat it out. I don't necessarily respect a player going to time in a situation like this. Like, you either have it or you don't. I don't believe you're genuinely pondering. So they're just putting us on the hot seat for no particular reason. All right. Okay, it's probably not bad manners if they didn't have it. If someone doesn't do anything for a long time and then has the interaction, that's sandbagging, and I would consider it bad manners. But if you don't have it and you're just looking at the board state and marveling at the exact lethal, that's all perfectly legit and within bounds. Wow, some really sweet Magic today. We only dropped one game to a beautiful white curve out, green-white curve out with some black interaction and stuff. That was just a tuned deck doing its thing. We had one game that was like half an hour and absolutely one of the finest games that I've played. Still cannot believe that I overcame that Agent 13 and got the job done. And yeah, what an awesome deck. This makes me kind of believe in blue-black control. Like, hey, it was a trophy. It was 7-1, so, you know, almost as good as it can get. The curve was a huge problem. So next step would be, can we take the same card quality, cut some of the crummier pieces like Shuri and Kingpin's Enforcers and Dependable Quinjet, which were pure filler. Even AIM Scientist was not very impressive here, although I probably should have land cycled it more. And can we just turn those into really high quality 1s and 2s? If you can do that, maybe turn all of those into, like, I'm not sure how good Aerial Doombot is here, but like some more bold biochemists, that kind of thing. Even Kingpin's Enforcers actually is probably pretty good, but just more high quality things to do before turn 3. Then you would have a deck that I think can actually hold its own against the white aggressive decks. So there we go. That's day 3 of consecutive trophies, and I haven't gone for it too hard yet that I started actually losing gems. So tomorrow, maybe I'll push the boundaries even further. And either tomorrow or the next day, I'll be doing a data deep dive on where the format stands. So until then, have tons of fun playing Magic, and don't be afraid to play something that's not white aggro in this format.